Everyone tells you to just write. But what if that's the very thing keeping you stuck? You think you're struggling because you're not disciplined enough. But look at what's actually happening. You sit at a blank screen, overthink every sentence, write something, delete it, rewrite it, delete it again. Not because you're lazy, but because you're drowning in pressure. And every time you search for help, there's another writer on YouTube giving you the same empty cliche. Just write. You're not failing because you can't just write. You're failing because just write is the enemy. It ignores fear. It ignores structure and refinement. It dismisses the reality that beginners don't know what they're writing or how to shape it. You're stuck on the first page for weeks, not because you're incapable, but because you were told to fight a battle with no weapon. Just Write is the road trip with no GPS. The map you needed was never given to you. Outside of being a filmmaker and a DJ, I teach artists how to write their scripts, use what they already have to produce their own work, and turn their ideas into real projects without waiting for permission. So, Just Write does get words on a page, but without any formal training, those words become exhausting, overwhelming, and feel like an unmanageable puzzle. Word vomiting helps you unload your brain, but staring at giant blocks of text with no beginning, middle, or end creates anxiety. You feel trapped by paragraphs you don't know how to shape. If this is where you are, comment structure. Because here's the real enemy you've been silently fighting. Structure confusion, blank page paralysis, perfection anxiety. Not a lack of talent, a lack of a roadmap, a lack of a system. Just Write comes from seasoned writers who already know the rules and are competing on a master level. They've compounded their skill set so deeply that techniques are innate to them. But you're trying to close the gap between hobbyist and storyteller. You don't need pressure, you need direction. The advice culture around writing is very redundant. Everyone is giving the same basic advice. If you're stuck, you're not disciplined. Grind harder. Real writers push through. Beginner writers hear this from advanced writers who've been doing this for a long time, and they sabotage their ideas before they even put them on the page because somehow you're supposed to know what you're doing when in fact you're only just getting started. Now you're afraid that your first story is crap and not a masterpiece because grind culture pushes pressure over beginner-friendly frameworks, over step-by-step clarity. The writing world glorifies grind culture, but new writers don't need pressure. They need structure. Discipline does matter, but shame culture does not. A lot of new writers are already intimidated, nervous, and they don't know how to close that gap from hobbyist to confident and playing to win. The Just Write cliche is an incomplete sentence. You need to be writing and. You need to be writing and reading other scripts. You need to be writing and getting clarity on how to work with that pesky inner critic. You need to be writing and refining your structure in a writing group. You need to be writing and equipping yourself with knowledge to sharpen your skill set. You need to be writing and doing 1% better every single day. Because guess what? That's what high-level writers do. So what's the practical solution? Not just write, not try harder, not be more pressured. Because pressure without a system quickly turns into procrastination. The solution is a writing system. Once you have a step-by-step, you will naturally create a sense of urgency for yourself. Knowing your stories, your characters, your acts, your beginning, middle, and end. Having a regular writing routine. The moment you have a map, writing stops feeling like a fight and starts feeling like creation. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't have formal training. The talent pool is too vast. There's too much competition. This is a lot. Listen, you can think about your stories all day, but if you can think about it, you can write about it too. Your stories help nobody if you just let them sit inside your head. You have the urgency to write, but you don't know what it is you want to say. I'm going to ask you this. What do you want to write about? Now you have homework. If you journal, look through your entries. What is the common theme? What is the main thing you've been saying? Who is the same person that keeps making you mad? Because somebody did. If you don't journal, start today. Write down who ticked you off. What's the tea behind that story? Journal for the next 3 days. Then go back and look at the common theme. Once you identify that, now you have a target. You're on a road trip, you know where you started, and now you know where you're headed. Those journal entries will give you your end destination. Now, I've been working on something for a while, a transformative writing system that helps beginner and aspiring writers and filmmakers with no formal training go from zero to being a confident writer using a repeatable system on how to write a story Bible and a short form script with a clear beginning, middle, and end by using your own experiences. And you're doing all of this from scratch. If you're done fighting this alone and you're ready to make an investment in yourself, drop roadmap in the comments to be the first to know when this system opens. I'll see you all in my next video. Ciao.